So often people um, like to dismiss the relevance of any narcissistic God. Some God who has created us in order to worship Him and has given us so much suffering and so on and so forth to bring us on our knees to worship Him. Well, this is not very accurate. Um, Krishna does not need to do anything. He doesn't act out of need. He acts out of desire. He acts out of pleasure. That's all. That's the meaning of God. If God has a need, that means there's something pushing Him, something superior to Him. That means that's God. God's need is God. So actually, if Krishna is driven by anything, it's by love. It's by his own love. And in fact, everybody is worshipping Krishna, but Krishna is worshipping Radha. So in the sense that she is his God. And in our tradition, with Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we are not saying that God has created living beings in order to worship him. This is a misunderstanding. Worship is not the point. Worship is merely something en route to the point. Worship is a way to bring our attention away from what we're already worshipping in the form of the material world. But ultimately, the goal of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we're going to be lost in love. What do we mean by this? So, Krishna has devotees in different, what are called rasas, different relationships. We can understand something about these by looking at this world. You may have heard that one way you can understand something about God is by understanding something about yourself, that if anything exists, it has its root in God. Something cannot exist unless it's within God. If God is lacking something, that thing doesn't exist because He is the origin of everything. So He's the origin of all relationships. He's the origin of love, and love takes place in different relationships or rasas. The primary relationships, three primary ones, called Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, means, Sakya means friendship, and Vatsalya means parental, and Madhurya means amorous, intimate, like husband and wife, or even more, lovers, especially lovers not married. If one of those lovers, in fact, already has a mate, a spouse. So when Krishna is engaging with his devotees, just like his cowherd boyfriends, they're not worshipping him. They're wrestling. They're making fun of each other. Sometimes Krishna is winning. Sometimes his friend is winning. Sometimes his friend is pinning Krishna on his back. And he's saying, I've won, I've defeated Krishna. And Krishna is arguing, no, because my nose is pointing upwards. Actually, I have won. You are the one who is facing the earth. Your nose is going to the earth. I have won. So in so many different ways, there are pastimes, there are loving pastimes. The next level with Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is thinking, I must discipline this boy. I must instruct him. I must educate him. Otherwise, he may grow up in an undisciplined, not a good thing. So there's a mood of not only equality, there's a mood of superiority and of feeling that God is dependent on me. This is not the mood of worship Aishwarya, awe and reverence. So it is appropriate in this world that our spiritual life begins with worship, but that is not the point. If Krishna or God simply wanted to be worshipped, he could have the sun come up every morning, drawn by chariots and, people with horns and big signs in the sky, and here it is, the sun. brought to you by the special power and grace and kindness and magnificence of God. All fall down, it's the sun, grovel. It's not anything like that. Nothing like that. So Krishna does not need that we worship him. He does not create us to worship him. He's not some psychologically dysfunctional narcissist that needs anything from anybody else. There isn't anybody else. Everything is Krishna. That doesn't mean I'm Krishna, you're Krishna, but it means everything is his. Everything is his. Just like I'm moving my hand, there's no narcissism in having my hand do what I want it to do. The relationship is natural. The relationship between Krishna and his parts and parcels is natural, and it is love. It is love. It is not, ultimately it is not worship. Worship is an early stage in this path of bhakti as we are following in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Hare Krishna.